Hey guys, this is Andrew, Coach Andrew here with 310 Nutrition. Give me 1 second as I join on this live. I just want to check something here on the side. Hello, JL. Okay, I can start seeing you guys here on the side. So give me some time. We're going to do a little recipe, a little Halloween healthy treat with 310 Nutrition, so with the products. But give me a sec while I join here. Interesting. Okay. Okay. All right. All right, guys. So I set this up. So again, stay tuned till the end. We're gonna try to get through just a quick recipe. I'm gonna show you guys how to make some chocolate protein Rice Krispie treats. Pretty simple recipe. No cooking, no baking required. Just a healthy twist on Rice Krispie treats. So stay till the end. We're gonna have a random winner, someone to go home with a prize from 310 Nutrition, some random prize. But until then, can you guys hear me? I'm trying out this microphone. Just want to make sure you guys can hear me all the way from here. The thumbs up or a yes. Send me a thumbs up or a yes, letting me know you can hear me because I have this mic all the way from here. Loud and clear. Awesome. Okay, guys. So today's recipe is going to be mostly Rice Krispies, whole grains, but one of the important things about finding some healthy treats around these holidays is finding stuff that's less processed, of course, less processed sugars, less processed grains. So what you're going to find with this recipe here is it's going to have whole grains. So a lot of whole grains from the Rice Krispies, puffed millet, just whole grains that you can find in most stores. Doesn't have to be millet or a lot of these other whole grains, but these are just some I'm going to be using today. So this is going to be a higher protein snack, of course, because we're going to have a protein powder. It's going to be something that you can take for a snack throughout the day, something portable, something you can have in the breakfast, maybe on the go. Something that I love to take is just bars and treats and stuff on the go like that. So this is another kind of like bar, homemade bar, something like that you can make. So what I'm going to be showing here is just kind of putting it all together. So you can either choose to go with just the chocolate Rice Krispies or the just plain Rice Krispies treats for your base. The chocolate Rice Krispies is going to have, of course, a bit more sugar compared to the just regular Rice Krispies. But who's made Rice Krispies at home? This is a pretty simple recipe. This one's actually one that is not going to use any marshmallows. That's the really common high sugar ingredient that a lot of the Rice Krispies have. So using this ingredient instead of the marshmallows to bind it together, we're going to be using like an all natural peanut butter or almond butter, like a nut butter of your choice, and some agave or like a syrup, something like that. Cool. So Ivana, it sounds like you've made these in the past. So it's a very simple recipe, but I kind of want to go through it and just explain the benefits, the nutrition benefits of each one of the ingredients, and make sure you guys kind of understand and kind of put together a recipe, although it's pretty basic. So what you'll need for this recipe is going to be Rice Krispies, one of the two, like I mentioned. If you want a chocolate Rice Krispie, something more Halloween themed, like what I posted for the live today, I'm going to be using mostly the chocolate for that. So for this, I'm going to use 2 cups of the Rice Krispies. So I don't have a measuring cup. I usually just eyeball the 2 cups, or use like just like a normal coffee cup. I'm going to use one of those over here. So work with me, guys, here. Okay, so I'm just going to use a normal coffee mug. That's about a cup. You don't have to be perfect for this. So I'm going to have 2 cups of the chocolate Rice Krispies. And these are, besides the added sugars in the Rice Krispies, it's a whole grain. It's just rice. It's rice, for the cereal. So That's what I like about Rice Krispies. The other ingredient that you're gonna add is probably millet or some kind of other whole grain. So there's a bunch of cereals you can add. You know, when you're making these Rice Krispie treats, just look at the ingredients and make sure you're looking for whole grain ingredients, some that are lower in added sugars. So the one I'm gonna use today, I found this millet at Sprouts. I think I saw it at Trader Joe's too. But there's plenty of whole grains. There's what was the other one called? Kamut, millet, corn. You mean there's a bunch of whole grains that you can find in packages that are puffed. So this one here is a puffed millet. So I'm just gonna add about half a cup of the millet, and this is just gonna add more volume to the Rice Krispies, just to give it a different texture, different puff feeling. That's kind of what gives it the sponginess of the Rice Krispies. So for this one, I'm gonna do half a cup of the millet, and I made some of these last night actually. Here, as you see, I'm gonna a little tip when you're making these, mostly when you're using the peanut butter, is they can come out really like dense, less fluffy like a Rice Krispie. So what you want to do is when you mix these together is do a very light mix. Like don't compact it, and when you're putting in the mold in the pan, don't like press it down. That's what I learned from these, because these came out they came out delicious, but they're a lot more like thick, like fudge, like not fudgy, but I want to say like compact. So it's a lot more condensed. So the next ingredient I'm gonna have on the side. So this is your dry ingredients. Is the millet, the Rice Krispies, and on the side you're just gonna add these other three ingredients. So this is like a 5 recipe ingredient recipe, or sorry, Rice Krispies. You're gonna have almond milk. You can use an unsweetened almond milk, or you can use an oat milk, rice milk, even dairy, even a normal milk, but it's your choice. But I'm just using a unsweetened almond milk. And then I'm going to be using some blue agave. You can have maple syrup. You can use some other sweetener, whatever sweeteners that you like. This one is the one I prefer for this recipe. It just comes out with the right amount of sweetness, not too much. And let's see. Okay, so it's just a fourth. It's basically a fourth of each one of these ingredients. So a fourth cup of the blue agave, a fourth cup of the all natural peanut butter or almond butter, what I'm gonna use here, and then a fourth cup of the almond milk. So I'm just gonna measure a fourth a cup. So I don't have any measuring instruments here, but if you kind of do it about a fourth a cup, it'll come out fine. And then my peanut butter, and I wasn't prepared with a spoon, so let me go grab that. So like I was mentioning, what I like about this recipe is these bars are going to be higher in protein because they have the 310 protein powder, and they're going to be whole grains, and they're not going to have a lot of processed sugar from the marshmallows. So this is a great snack you can have, between meals, any time of the day, before workouts, even after a workout. If you're not craving a shake, you want something different. So a fourth cup is approximately 4 tablespoons. So that's what I'm going to do for the peanut butter on the side. That's 1. This is 2. And my favorites are the almond butter. I actually just ran out of almond butter. That's what I use for the other chocolate Rice Krispies that I made yesterday. But this is like some just all natural peanut butter. This one works great too. Actually, this consistency of this like natural creamy peanut butter is a lot better than the almond butter. The almond butter is really thick and tough, so it's going to be a little bit harder to stir it in, because it kind of becomes like this big ball. So it's a lot harder. But yeah, definitely you substitute it with almond butter or peanut butter. And what you're going to do is you can microwave this for about 30 seconds to a minute, just to get like a liquid consistency. This looks liquid at this point, but I'm just going to put it in the microwave for like 30 seconds. And then meanwhile, I'm going to add the scoop of the protein powder, 310 protein. And this flavor I have here actually is cookies and cream. So the best with this recipe would probably be chocolate protein powder. But what I have right now is cookies and cream, and it turns out this is great. So I'm gonna add 1 scoop of the cookies and cream. So that's all I'm gonna add to the recipe, 1 scoop. You can add a bit more. Just know that the amount of liquid is gonna change, so the amount of almond milk you might need a little bit more because of the added protein powder. But that's all. I'm just gonna mix those dry ingredients. Make sure it's all mixed really well, like so. And okay, and I'm gonna grab the mixture. So that's it. It's pretty simple. You have the dry ingredients, you have the wet ingredients. You're just gonna mix it into the dry. So that's what I'm gonna do. And this recipe is not gonna be low in fats. It's a great like whole food recipe. Like I really like how the ingredients are whole grains. You're using like a natural peanut butter, but just know that because of the added peanut butter and the almond butter, it's going to be a little bit higher in fats. So just take that into account when you're eating throughout the day. It's really filling because of the fat and the protein. This is a great filling snack that you can have. So some benefits, but just if you're trying to do this and you're counting calories, which a lot of clients that I have usually do, is they count the total amount of the ingredients that they use. So like I said, I use 1 scoop of the protein powder, half a cup of the millet, 2 cups of the Rice Krispies, and just add it all together and then divide it by how many pieces you cut it up into. So really simple if you're using this for calorie counting too, if you're on MyFitnessPal or any kind of calorie tracker that you're using. But if you guys have any questions, meanwhile, like as I'm making it, please let me know. Just send a message. Can you use fat-free milk? Yeah, so you could definitely use a fat-free milk. I'm just using almond almond milk, unsweetened almond milk. I just find that because of the more like neutral flavor from the almond milk, it helps out. And then I also think about if you have dairy products, like if you have dairy, I usually like to refrigerate it. And these Rice Krispies you can leave out. You put it in the fridge and for a little bit. I'll talk about that later. But if you're using like a dairy, like a milk, like a fat-free milk, you would probably want to put it in the fridge overnight, or if you're leaving it out for a few days. I just, because it's dairy and any kind of like cheese, dairy, creams, I usually like to refrigerate it. So that's the only reason I would probably stick to like an oat milk or almond milk. But anyways, I'm gonna add a fourth cup. It's a fourth cup of all the ingredients. And I'm just gonna slowly stir it in as I'm mixing in. And I always go light and slowly add a little bit more. Because like I said, if you add too much, it can get really condensed, really dense, like I made these last night. So that's what I'm gonna do. Just keep mixing it, kind of just like folding it in. I don't want to press it down and compress it. That's how they turn really dense. Kind of like when you're making like a pastry or like some kind of dough. You also don't want to compress it too much. So if there's still some dry Rice Krispies in there, I just fold it in. So I just want enough for it to just kind of feel like look all really like the almond milk has been like equally all distributed. There's no dry powder. If you don't mix it well, a lot of the protein powder can sit at the bottom. So just try to fold it in, mix it well. So there we go. That's it. This is what I'm looking for. Just like a kind of like a wet consistency, but it's still not all like compressed. It's not all pushed into again. This will stick when you refrigerate it and you let it sit. It'll compress into like a Rice Krispie. So that is all for the Rice Krispie. Like the prep. I'm gonna put this aside, and you can always do these with if you want to like cut the sugar content of the Rice Krispies, you can definitely swap out the chocolate for just the plain Rice Krispies. And honestly, for a cup, so a serving is a cup, 15 grams, so that'll cut you like 30 grams of sugar if you switch just from the chocolate to the plain. So that's a good drop of added sugars if that's what you're looking for. So that is that. Okay. Now for the molding. So what I have a little pan. What I have here is a little pan on the side, and I just throw it in here. I don't even put any spray or anything at the bottom. I have parchment paper at the bottom. A trick that I have always used for cookies and stuff is spraying, like using a spray and spraying the bottom of the pan and then putting the parchment on top of it. That way it can like sit down in at the bottom. So that's what I did. I just sprayed the bottom, found this mold, put it in there, and I just throw it in and fold it in. So that's what I'm gonna do, fold it in. And like I said, try not to press it down, just let it sit. Let it just fall in. So, as you will see, soon it's going to be a little bit like big. It's going to look like it's a lot of volume. It's going to be like a mill mountain. All I would do is try to like turn it around and just lightly press it. Don't compress, don't compact it, because that's how you get a really like dense Rice Krispie like that one. So that's all I did. Like so, just go all the way to the corners. And there you go. And all you'll do is let this sit. You could, if you want to eat it quick, want to eat it a lot faster, you could put it in a freezer for an hour, 30 minutes, like 30 minutes to an hour, just so it can get nice and hard. Or you could leave it overnight in the refrigerator. That way it can turn nice and like a normal Rice Krispie, like a nice block, and you can cut up into pieces. So the one ingredient that you can add if you want a lot more chocolatiness to your Rice Krispies that I actually did add to these. That's why they look a lot more chocolatier. They look a lot darker. And honestly, I forgot about this one. Sometimes it can be like a lot overpowering, but if you use like an cacao, unsweetened cacao powder like this one, this is going to add a lot of chocolatiness to your Rice Krispies. So it's up to you. If you want more chocolate, you prefer chocolate, to go for this added ingredient. If not, then you could just do the normal Rice Krispies. Or if you want chocolate and you don't want a lot of the added sugars, you can do the plain Rice Krispies and add the unsweetened cacao powder. So there's a lot of ways to change up this recipe. That is basically it. I'm just gonna put this in the fridge and then wait a few hours or overnight and cut it up tomorrow morning. So those are the main ingredients. As you see, there are a lot of whole foods. There's nothing that's really overly processed besides some of the Rice Krispies if you're using those. So yeah, that's the kind of breakdown of the recipe. For storage, you can leave it up. Like I said, you can leave it out once you put it in the fridge, or even like this, you can leave it out up to a week. I wouldn't do anything more than that. And a little trick, and something that I'd love to do too when I'm going on the go, is find yourself some baggies. Something that is really helpful is not only making really like high protein snacks like this, but prepping ahead of time and making it practical for you to grab and go. So something I do with sandwiches, with snacks, is package it up. Use a baggie, use a plastic baggie, whatever containers you have, and add them in. Add a few bars. You put them in a little plastic baggie. That way you can put them in your fridge, and you don't even have to think about it. You can just grab it once you're heading out for work, a workout, or whatever you have going on throughout your day. It just makes it a lot easier if you could just have them like individually bagged. Like just cut it up, bag it, put it in the fridge, put it wherever you store your bars, your snacks. That way, when you get the temptations, you want something sweet, or you're on the go and you know you're going to be out for a few hours, you can just easily grab one of these and just head out. And you know that's going to be a healthy snack on the go. So that's another tip I have for the bars or for these Rice Krispies. Does anyone have any question? I mean, anything about the ingredients, anything about this recipe, any general questions about nutrition? I am here to answer those too. Yeah, that's all I have for today. I think there's one. How about a cookie recipe? Yeah, so next time we could definitely do a cookie, some kind of cookie, maybe a pumpkin spice or something with that new flavor. I haven't received my shipment yet, but I should be getting a pumpkin spice. So maybe some pumpkin spice cookies. That'd be a good idea. See on here. How do you come up with these recipes? Just experimenting. Yeah, Maria, just experimenting. I see recipes that I like from other people on social media, and I try to make it like have a twist, a healthy twist to it. I saw this one without the agave and the millet, but you just start experimenting and seeing what looks good. Like I found out experimenting with these yesterday that if you compress it too much and if you add too much liquid, too much almond milk, they come out really tough. And if you don't, you get a lighter, fluffier Rice Krispies. So just experimenting, definitely. Pumpkin spice cookies, yes, please. Awesome. Yeah, we'll definitely do some kind of cookie recipe. That's another great one. Or like a cookie dough, some kind of cookie or cookie dough recipe. I'm also a big fan of cookie dough, so that's something I love. You know, in moderation, of course, but that's something else that I really like. So can you put the recipe there, please? Yes, of course, Dolores. I'll send it at the end of the live, so someone from admin can help just put it up. It's a very basic 5-ingredient recipe, like I mentioned. It's the Rice Krispies, either chocolate or plain. We have the other dry ingredient. You can use millet or another whole grain puffed grain. You have your optional cacao powder, nut butter. You can use almond milk or peanut butter, and your almond milk, the liquid. And that's it. You just kind of mix it together. Millet, isn't that Bercy? Yeah, they sometimes they have millet, but these are puffed. So a lot of these, this brand I haven't bought before, but they're puffed millet. So I think some of the millet that birds eat is not puffed, like it's probably still hard like a seed. So you want to make sure you get puffed, the puffed versions. You can play around with the recipe to make it healthier. Yeah, definitely, Jay. You can definitely play around with this recipe. Like I said, if you want to cut back the added sugars, you can switch from the chocolate to the plain. There's a lot of ways you can decrease the sweetness or you change the added sugars. Another one that you can do is instead of adding the agave, if you really want lower sweeteners, you can use like a stevia or some kind of other artificial sweetener or something like that to really make it low added sugars. That's just things you want to play around with and test it out and see if it tastes good, because making a healthy recipe is one thing, but also making it taste good is another, right? You want to make sure that it's something that you make also to enjoy throughout your day, so you're staying on track, but you're also being aware of the kind of foods that you're choosing. So of course, Wendy, thanks for joining. I'm just trying to start something different, trying to have a different setup. See, let me know if you guys like this setup more. If you guys can hear me fine, I mean, then I can continue making stuff like this, or I just go through recipes, or send me a recipe that you like and you want to see made. I can definitely go through that and make a recipe with some of the 310 nutrition powders, the products, breakfast, lunch, snacks. Let me know what kind of recipes you're looking for. Awesome, Heather. I'm glad you're here. So yeah, thanks for joining, guys. I mean, there is plenty of ideas, things that you can experiment and play around with. Just experimenting and getting in the kitchen and trying to make healthier recipes makes you conscious of your decisions and things that you're eating. So highly recommend anyone to experiment. Where would you send a recipe? I can also post it. Next time I'll just post the recipe to the 310 nutrition, to the 310 community, so you guys can all see it. I have a just like a PDF file. I'll put it up and you guys can see it with a picture. I'll just take a picture of these so you guys can remember what the recipe is, and I'll take a picture of these so you guys can see how these turned out. But yeah, that's basically what I got here. Wendy, snacks would be great. Okay, yeah, I'll try to look for more snacks. Maria, yes, yeah, you can definitely send recipes to us if you want me to like recreate or make it put a healthier twist on a recipe or some kind of snacks that you like that you enjoy. Yeah, definitely send it my way. I love doing that kind of thing. Finding a recipe or some kind of treat that you want to have like a healthier twist on it. Like send it to me and I'll try to put something together. Yeah, guys, and thanks for working with me. The beginning might see some weird setups. We've been kind of moving things around, so there's some very sad dead flowers here on the side, but these definitely need to get switched. But yeah, actually, what's going on? Facebook, sorry, Maria, Facebook Messenger. I'll post it. If you're talking about the recipe, I'll post it in the 310 Nutrition community. That way, you guys can all see it and share it with whoever um, you like, or if you have things you want to send to me my way, you can always direct message things to me or at the email 310 coaches and sorry, I think it's coaches at 310nutrition.com. Have to check up on that one, but that's how you can send it my way. Hi, Heather. So yeah, we just went through a recipe with Rice Krispies, trying to make a healthier version of Rice Krispie treats. If you want, you can go ahead and rewatch and let me know what you think. So that's all the time I had for today. I mean, if you guys don't have any other questions, I'm happy to answer. But yeah, we're gonna have. I'll see you guys next time. I'm back on Saturday, 9 a.m., and I'll go over another topic on healthy starts to your Saturday mornings. But by now, I'm gonna announce the winner, Wendy Ward. Congratulations, Wendy. You are the winner for today. But thank you guys all for joining. Thank you guys all for interacting and participating with the live today. If you guys have other questions, let me know. But until then, thank you guys for watching. Bye, guys.